Welcome to Embrace the Games Archive. Here we have over 70,000 objects and we are steadily growing. We are literally surrounded by video games. Embrace the Games Archive is an archive for physical video games, released commercially for the consumer market. That means the games, the consoles and the computers that you play the games on, and also the accessories, and there's a lot of them. We aim to have an archive as extensive as possible with all the video games in the whole world. That goes for both old and new games. We already have many complete or near complete collections here in the archive. To name a few, we have all the games released for the Neo Geo AES in Japan. We also have all the games that were released for the Nintendo Entertainment System in Europe. One of our oldest objects is the Magnavox Odyssey from 1972, and one of the newest is this PlayStation 5.
We have so many unique objects in this collection, but one of my personal favorites is this one, the Atari Falcon. It was the last computer ever to be released by the then Atari Corporation in '92. It barely sold any copies, so it's a very rare system.
This is a Commodore Max that was only released in Japan in 1982. It was meant as a low-cost alternative and a way to test the market in Japan. It has mostly cartridge-based games and were only 26 released.
So this one is the IVA Mega Drive from '94. It plays radio, cassette, CD, Mega Drive, Mega CD and even karaoke.
It's the Casio Loopy. It's from '95 and it's actually a console aimed at the female gamers because it has hearts and it's very like girly in style. And what makes this very special is that it has a built-in printer because girls like stickers.
Here we have a TV made by Sharp with a built-in Super Famicom. The SF1 only released in Japan, so it's quite hard to find. It combines two things I love, the Super Famicom and the old CRT TVs. Our goal is to preserve and document the rich history of gaming. The archive is an important and unique investment by the Embracer Group. The initiative came from the group's founder and CEO, Lars Wingefors. His collection was a starting point for this archive. Embracer Group is proud to be a part of the video game industry. We love games and we respect the creative work behind them. With this archive, we want to give something back to the video game culture. The history of video games is something that we need to cherish and take care of. So we see this archive as an important cultural effort.
Our mission differs considerably from how archives generally work. We are preserving an interactive medium. Therefore, we have to rethink how we aim to preserve. What has become our motto is preservation through use. Being able to actually touch and experience the games on contemporary hardware is something we feel is very important.
When I'm not working on the database, I'm here in the workshop and I'm currently repairing a Z80 based computer called Luxor ABC80. It's 45 years old, so it needs a little bit of TLC. Computers age as humans do. They got very volatile components like capacitors that can start to leak and degrade when they get older. So I'm currently replacing the old capacitors with new ones. It's very important to look after our collection, not just for the problems that we're facing at the moment, but also for the future. So a part of our work is to set up maintenance routines that these volatile components get replaced. There's huge amounts to think about when it comes to hardware preservation, and it's a very new field of study, so there's not much to rely on when researching it.
Look around and see the awe-inspiring amount of objects around us. This could be seen as the heart of the archive, and the database is the brain. The database is essential for us to be able to utilize the archive in a meaningful way. Soon you will be able to follow our progress through our website, so please check it out.
Right now I'm putting games into our database. We just recently went live with it. As you can imagine, it's crucial for us to keep track of everything. During these first and early steps, we have to cut some corners and just enter the most basic things, like the game title, what platform it is, where it's located in the archive, etc. As we currently have 70,000 objects in the archive, it's quite a big task. The idea is to go through each and every object several times, and each time we will add more details about the object. Everything from the condition of the game to what's actually inside the box. This game could exist in multiple different versions where they have changed the size of the logo It's quite common for these Nintendo games to have different shapes of the Nintendo Seal of Quality stamp here. You just have to note everything down. That's also why the best place to do this kind of thing is right here, where the games are.
By maintaining and preserving the objects in the archive, we learn more about them and also keep the knowledge alive. Video games have become an important part of our contemporary cultural heritage. That is why games, just as any other form of culture, should be preserved, so that future generations have the possibility to study and experience this specific cultural expression. We have the aspiration to help other institutions and preservation groups through this archive. We are firm believers that together we can preserve a bigger part of history.
My main job at the archive is to acquire games and hardware. How do I manage that? It's not a big secret. Most important is knowledge and a great network. Auction sites doesn't help if you look for a complete collection. Then you have to dig into forums about each game system. Get to know the big players, stay humble and wait for the right opportunity. One well-managed contact will lead to many more. A small collection can be bought after some good pictures and a couple of e-meetings. A large collection requires me to travel to inspect it. Within video games, the knowledge about what's out there is great. The hard task is in computer games. That goes for both older home computers and in the PCC. It's impossible to find every game, but we will do our best. We prefer complete collections such as this awesome, fully complete Super Famicom set. But even a small donation can be important.
This archive is not only an asset for the Embracer Group. It's important that the games in the archive can serve a purpose and be of use to others. The most common question we receive is, can I visit the archive? We really appreciate the great interest in the work we are trying to do here. But it's important to remember that this is an archive and not a museum. And like most archives, we are not open to the public. However, if you have a purpose and, for example, work in education, research, game development, you're a journalist or a writer, then you're more than welcome to contact us and we will try to help you out.
So this is my favorite game, Super Mario Brothers. I played it all my youth and it was such a magical and wonderful experience, stumbling through the different worlds, finding all the secrets and everything, and I hold this title very precious to me.
So this is Ultima 5 and it's very dear to my heart and I have very fond memories of playing it together with my brother. It's a role-playing game that's very complex and it has a beautiful cloth map. There's quite an age difference between me and my brother and this was one of the things that brought us together.
Super Metroid, my absolute favorite game. I think everything is perfect in this one and I played through it over 100 times, I think.
I have here Day of the Tentacle and I love this game. It's from '93 and this box is very unusual because it's triangle formed. This game contains one of my favorite solutions to a puzzle and it actually involves pasta.
This is one of my favorite games, Three Dirty Dwarfs for the Sega Saturn, only made to Sega Saturn and PC. Actually made in Hungary. It's a weird beat 'em up for the system.
Even though we are surrounded by so many games, this is just the beginning. We have a lot of work in front of us. So please follow us on social media and on our website and be a part of this big, epic journey.